I just want to briefly introduce. So we are live. Um, Good morning, guys. This is Jack. This is this is okay. So we are in the waiting room of the studio, Bright FM, for the Take Back Niger radio tour that just started today. So we are still waiting to be called, and yeah. So you guys should stay connected while we get to the studio in a few minutes. I think they are doing a newspaper review for now, so shortly we will be in the studio. Thank, thank you, thank you, guys. Yeah, let me post so that people can join us. It should be. Okay. Saraki is actually the most media conscious PDP this thing. He's he's been on top of the thing. But unfortunately for them, the problem they have is that Obi is controlling the whole space organically. Like the whole space has been taken away from everybody. Even the APC, they can no longer talk again on the media. The whole Twitter is locked down for Obi for the past 3 weeks. Like they're not. Imagine somebody trending for 3 weeks. It has not happened for 3 weeks. It has not happened in the history of no politician in Nigeria. Even paid ads, as in paid ads that you pay for. Nobody can trend you like that. But this man is trending effortlessly. You understand? So um the Saraki guys, I think somebody told me, somebody in the PDP, he said yesterday they were just collating data on the social media, inside the PDP office. They are what is it called? Yeah, because they have people that analyze comments. So of 500 comments under articles posts, 498 of them were negative against him, demanding for P2B. So they are beginning to collate, they analyze those responses. You understand? So the guy was telling me, he said, we should continue what we are doing, that everybody is afraid of P2B right now. He's growing acceptability every day. Bro, you need to come. The launching yesterday of P2B support network. Yes, the number of Northerners that came, Sheikh, you know, Imam came. It's not like this is not what I was told. I was there. I spoke. I streamed live yesterday. I spoke on behalf of Take Back Nigeria. So the spread is there. It's just for us to amplify it. And it's next week we're going to amplify because next week Obi is starting his northern tour. You understand? So he's starting because the reason why he has not done that is because of what is it called? Because of the Salah. So he wants them to finish their fasting before he now. So next week, starting official tour in the north. That's why I want our radio tour to also, you understand? So as it's moving to Nasarawa, for example, we're moving to Nasarawa on a radio. So while I'm talking on the radio, he's dealing with the delegates. You understand? So, and then after that, we can now place ads to be running on the station. So the popularity will come. It's just for us to be strategic. Let's keep pushing the online. Then the idea is that at the end of next week, we've sent this thing for him to approve. There will be a youth town hall meeting powered by Take Back Naija. We'll bring him to Abuja to sit down and share his ideas for the youth. So he's going to do that within the after next week. You understand? We plan that it's going to happen like a week or a week plus before the primaries. So immediately after that youth town hall, we'll now hold a 1 million march across the whole state. So that 1 million march is what will now send shockwaves, to everybody. So we have plan. You get so when you're talking, I'm just laughing because you guys don't know what we are planning. We have plans, you understand? And we know that these things are achievable. But the problem is that currently the only issue we have is funding. It's the issue of funding. But we are hoping to be able to resolve that. So when we're able to resolve that issue of funding, I believe that once we resolve the issue of funding, then we don't have much problem. You understand? So we want to float GoFundMe account. Okay. Yeah. So let's no, as a movement. Okay. As a movement, take back Nigeria movement. Yes. So as a take back Nigeria, we float because we are working for credible leadership across board. You understand? So even people in APC can contribute to what we're doing. Because the honest truth is that, see, bro, yeah, the honest truth is that in those fewer maybe House of Representatives. Yeah, see, let me tell you, not for president, I'm talking about. Let me give you an example. In a Igbo state, there's a guy we are talking to endorse him. He's in ADC, Obina Musa. He's a credible sound candidate. You look at him, he's sound. So we are endorsing him. We are talking to Banky. He's credible sound candidate. We are not doing it because it's pure. It doesn't matter. Once we see those people that we know, that this guy can bring something different, you understand? Endorse them and use our structures. We have structures in Lekki. I want to make it to commission. So what we want to do is, so like that Lekki now, as you're putting paper like a posters with people, we put that in banking like side. So we use that to also propagate it. Okay, then our members will also work for you free of charge, just like we are doing for people. We're not expecting anything honestly. You understand? So that is what we want to be able to achieve across the parents. That's what we want to be able to achieve.
So in about 10 minutes, we'll be going on air in 10 minutes time. So we are waiting for them to be done with the first speaker.
No, they are on this paper.
Oh, okay.
They are on this paper. And this people is actually very confusing.
I said it is my first time to.
How to describe it?
Okay.
I don't know. I was thinking of probably if it's necessary.
Why not? I mean, we don't, we can go
But is
out.
this big?
Yeah.
This is
Yes. So, but some can make it depending on your relationship with them, can bring you, like when you start talking to them, you know, they can bring you on the station. Average 15 minutes in radio station is 50. Yes, so you have some, if you want to go to most of the stations that you want to so the thought is spending, you are going to spend money and you want to cover the $19 so when you cover the $19 state, okay, but what we're going to do at the end of that talk, see the number of people you will be then the 1 million match will now make sense. You understand? So that's the idea. Okay, we're doing that because of the 1 million match. Because imagine 1 million youths coming out of the street on the same day, telling you that this is the man we want. See, the problem, the biggest, like I said, the biggest argument against this candidate is that the PDP government, they feel that okay, you cannot be able to win election because they don't have right according to them. No, now, no, they are saying that and it is not popular in the north. That's why we are focusing on the north, right?
what I want to.
It's not true, but let us show them. We need to show them evidence.
Because even the so-called popular candidates,
They know we are
you know, we can.
Everyone win, and they don't need Sokoto.
Around
Bala knows
Saraki lost.
Saraki knows.
Atiku lost.
You almost lost Adamawa his own home state.
The so-called
Even
political
even
almost lost.
even
He gave APC what?
you understand? Even the UK that is taking votes, they don't get up to 500,000 votes for PDP. You understand? But surpass 500,000. Yeah. So we want the whole of Southeast by more than 80% for PDP. And you are saying it's wrong. And then 80% of articles vote were from the south. So if you now give him the ticket and the south, who will now vote for him? You understand? You're saying he's not. See, let all these people forget all this nonsense they are telling us. We know what this is. You understand? They're just doing this. And they know. They know. They know.
It's our time to get it right.
If we miss 20, see, the honest truth is that I know some of my friends that are currently processing their visa. They said they are going to put it on hold. If PDP gives Obi ticket, everybody will come out and vote for him. See, there are so many kinds. See, if people get ticket, now house by house campaign, we introduced it in Nigerian politics. For the first time, people are start going to some people's houses to beg them to vote. As in, that's the idea. That's what we're going to do. You understand? But if Peter is not willing, now I'm not even what I'm even telling people is it's not even about P2B because Oga P2B is a successful, over successful businessman with shares in top banks, at least three top banks. He doesn't need to be president of Nigeria for him to enjoy his life. You understand? He said, see, do you know his daughter's name? If now, do you know his son? P2B son. He's working like you and I. If you see him, you won't even know his father has everything. That's if they don't let their P2B son. You won't even know. His wife, are you seeing her making us? You don't see his family did not benefit anything from him being the governor of Abia. No, they didn't know because their father. But funny enough, Obi did not buy car for his son. He said he should hustle for his money. That his papa them money before he knew them. His goal is to give you good education and give you the level playing ground for you to succeed. The man Obi does not work. He will go back to his business, keep enjoying his life. You understand? But the problem is
There's no
that
option for that because
now why see, let me tell you, the day we bought Obi's, make I tell you, Obi said to very honest, hmm, he's greedy because of young people and he's going into this place because of them.
that's true.
It's just because of us that he accepted
This
to run. You understand? Not like he said he's only desperate to see Nigeria that works for younger people. Left for him, this man will not even bother because he said the madness in Nigerian politics is too much. Don't forget, there was a time they asked, what's the name, former emir of Kano, if he's going to do politics. He said, you want him to get involved in this matter. That he can't. He does not have the power to get involved in this matter. You understand? So there are very few people. I mean, successful people from the outside. Number one, you are afraid of your life. You don't know if these people are going to kill you. You understand? So there's a lot. There's a lot. So now that is why I'm like, okay, it is time for young people to actually know that okay, see, I told people this I said in the next 50 years, Atiku will not be
That's what
50 years. He's 70 something. Atiku is 70 something. He will not be alive in the next 50 years. Let's just be realistic. You understand? Even in the next 20 years, he might not be alive. You get 90 something. You won't. He's 78. For crying out loud. Yes. You understand what I'm saying? So he's an old man. Now, when you allow these people to mess up this country for us, now we go suffer at the end of the day. Especially the young people. Let me give you an example. If Hausa people now are claiming that it's okay for these people to distort the zoning formula and arrangement, and then they end up allowing that to mess it up. Don't forget that it might get to a stage where you will be at the receiving end. That is how life works. So when a Southern man plays South, and they want the Southern cancel against the North, you understand, and say, okay, when you go have the opportunity, you didn't consider other people. You understand? Okay, now we have bright minds in the South. Let's keep voting bright minds. Because you know the truth. If the Southerners they vote, if people in the South they come out to vote, nobody can defeat. This is just the honest truth. Forget about all these numbers they tell you. I've been to all the states. Do you understand? I've been to all the states myself. So when people are saying there are 10 million, just look at this number. Okay, if through those numbers, how come internal generation is not reflected? You understand? Nothing is reflected. You see, you have 44 local governments in Kano, for example, and then you have so many people. And then at the end of the day, those millions and millions cannot translate and generate the same money for IGN. Then you're generating the same money that, for example, Anambra is generating. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So why? Where is the numbers? Because at least those people you're talking about, they should be using transport. They should be paying taxes. They should be doing this, they should be doing that. So where are those monies? Can we look at these things that so for me, I just feel that the only difference is that the northerners are politically aware of the environment. So when it's time for politics,
they are politically aware, yes, but they are also cheats. But that is what has given them
the
all
edge.
the leverages that they have.
Well, that is that thing.
But because at the end of the day,
Mm.
you know, if we are to go by the as in I have the result for 2011,
Yeah.
correctly, to when this man was doing this year,
Yes.
just from Anambra, because they keep saying the South is not come out to blah, 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 blah,
Mm.
blah. Just Anambra alone gave the 1.1 million in 2011.
Yes.
Abia is the 1 million in 2011, which of Imo gave the 1 million. Yeah. And it's only few schools. only few states in the north, like Kano and Katsina, that gave that had over a million votes and had over a million votes for this for CPC. So the idea that the southeast
Don't vote.
doesn't vote
It's not
true.
the honest truth is that people are not people
We don't give so much interest.
interest exactly. And of recent it's because of the caliber of candidates.
Yeah. And just like said, don't look at the southeast votes as a collective vote because the people who are going to vote in the southeast are very different. So if you look at the Lagos vote, for instance, 10% of the Lagos are Igbos, and around Nigeria is the same thing. So if, for instance, now they say, okay, that the total number of votes was, let's say, 500,000 to 250,000 votes.
When you sent me just the names.
Okay. Okay, so co-convener blessing and then
Okay. Then freshness.
Precious is the media strategist for Abuja. And then Skelpina is the
Is it for the Abuja chapter?
yes, for the Abuja chapter. He's the coordinator of Abuja. Okay.
Are you playing?
Yes,
The name is Jack.
yes, Jack is my blessing is Jack. That's my I don't know if you're the one who gave me. You know me.
On Twitter.
Yes. Yeah. I probably asked him before I sent it. Then he was going to say, he sent me a- So we should be on soon.
Yes. Jack. Yeah.
Okay.
Can't do streaming. You can't do free account. So
I hope it's fine for us to.
yes, you can stream like actually on TV. Yes. So people are also. Your phone is not silent.
I think we should sit together. Okay, that's my. Okay, you sit here. All right. Not talking, right? Yes, she's not talking. He's not talking. Yeah, it doesn't.
You silent your phone.
Sir,
You silent your phone.
can I do it?
Okay, don't worry.
Is your phone blessed? You are? Okay. And then here you are. Precious. Okay.
You're welcome back to Bright Republic. 37 minutes gone past 8 o'clock, right here on the Blazing Boss of Talk, Information Plus Entertainment, Bright 98.7. Of course, my name is Simeon Sunday, and now it's time for us to move on to another conversation away from the headline. And right now, we're talking about the road to 2023, especially when it has to do with young other people's participation in the political process. We all know that there has been clamor for youth to actively participate in rebuilding a better Nigeria, as well as occupy top political positions in the country. And this clamor actually gave birth to several movements, like the Not Too Young to Run movement, which we saw a bill, a law passed due to that particular movement, as well as the Take Back Naija movement and other movements we've seen in the past couple of months. And even several acts like the Not Too Young to Run Act will only remain a law on paper if not activated by the youth themselves. And this can only be activated if the youth get involved in community development at the grassroots and use their population to change the narrative in the political space. And this narrative is what we've seen so many groups actually put in place to ensure that this narrative is changed going into the 2023 election. And today we've been joined by some progressive youth. I see them very young people right here in the studio. They are from Take Back Naija movement. I'll be introducing them right about now. And of course, we have the coordinator of Take Back Naija Abuja chapter here, Ikenna Onyaga. Good morning to you, Ikenna. Great to have you on the show. And of course, we also have the co-convener, Ezokoli Blessing. Good morning to you, Blessing. Good morning to you. Good to have you. Good to have you too on the show today. And of course, we have the media strategist for Abuja chapter here, Dioha Precious. She is actually here, although she will be doing a lot of filming and not much of the talking this morning. But basically, I'll be speaking to Ezokoli Blessing, the co-convener, as well as the coordinator of Take Back Naija, Ikenna Onyaga, right here. So first of all, let me start with you, Ikenna. Talking about Take Back Naija, let's talk about this movement, first of all. What actually brought about this particular movement? Let me start with that. So listeners and those viewers watching us on TSTV can get to understand what you do.
Thank you very much. Take Back Nigeria is a non-partisan.
Oh, Take Back Nigeria.
Yeah, Take Back.
Which of them is the Take Back Nigeria?
We are taking back Nigeria from every angle, because we need to tell the youths of Nigeria that this is time for us to actually come out and do what we have to do to salvage the future of this country. Because at the end of the day, it's not just important for us to be on the streets, carrying placards, talking about the injustices that have been left to us over the years. But when it comes to the election period, that actually defines what will happen to us in the next 4 to 8 years. We actually are both just sitting down or let God help us. That is always the phrase in Nigeria. God will choose, God will choose, but we have to choose right now because this is the time to take Nigeria back from what it used to be to what we want it to be.
Okay, amazing. So now at least we understand the scope of Take Back Nigeria and what we're doing and the agenda you're pushing right now. So let's talk about youth involvement and participation in politics, especially because one, a lot of people know that you have to be actively are involved in the political process of the country for you to effect any change at all. And when I talk about political participation, this involves the process of the policy making level, which involves seeking elected, positions in the country where young people can actually participate, to the point of, exercising your civic rights as a Nigerian, that you voting for your preferred candidate, to the point of young people lobbying. And that's what I see that Take Back Nigeria is doing at the moment, lobbying even policymakers as well as young Nigerians to get involved in the process of young people changing the narrative of the country. And now, looking at this, let me bring you back to a statement made by what people call political stalwarts before we move on to other parts of the conversation. We know that young people have not been actively involved in the politics of the country in the longest time we can ever remember. Some reason have been given for, our votes does not necessarily count. These people, they are still leaders who embezzle the money, so there's no point getting involved in the process. Let them do their thing. And in the past couple of months, in the past 3 years, we've seen a reawakening in the lives of the young Nigerians who are beginning to take the bull by the horn just to ensure that their demands are being met. Now, a particular aspirant actually made a statement sometime in March, and it made the headline. And let me bring it to you. Let me start with you. What do you think about it? An aspirant actually made a statement, said, yes, he knows that the youth have the aspiration of becoming president, but you have to hold forth the aspiration for him to finish it first. I know you know who I am referring to. I am not here to comment. But now, looking at that, let me go to you, the co-convener. When you saw that statement as a young Nigerian, what do you think?
Thank you. So quickly, let me, before I answer this particular question, I want to quickly say, I want to quickly answer the question you asked me earlier.
Okay.
As to what Take Back Naija, how it came to be.
Okay.
So there's a lot of clamor for, in 2020, to be precise, a lot of young persons went to the street of Nigeria demanding for end to SARS, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And we ended up getting what we got from the government, right?
So what did you get?
What we got from the government is we were treated with force, right? It wasn't supposed to be so. We expected a government that would listen to us, right? But they ended up recruiting. You have recruiting people against the Nigerian young people. So what has happened over time is that we've realized that these people are afraid of young people when we come together, right? So in as much as it's okay for us to demand and ask, I think it's time for us to organize ourselves and come together. So what Take Back Nigeria movement is doing is trying to build a movement, an NSAS-like movement. But this time around, NSAS-like movement. Yes.
Remember the NSAS protest, we know how it panned out.
Yes. No. Let me finish. Okay. When I say NSAS-like movement, I'm talking of the energy that we got during NSAS, right? I'm not necessarily talking about, because NSAS didn't have a leadership, right? And for me, I think that was what that was the low point of the movement, right? Now this time around, we are looking at something similar, but this time around it's focused on ensuring that we get credible leaders across board. Yeah.
Okay, let me take you on that particular statement you just made. Let me digress a bit. Okay. You said the low point of the NSAS protest, that's Take Back Nigeria, is a similar movement like the NSAS protest.
Yeah.
But right now, holding leaders accountable.
Yes.
Not what we saw.
And ensuring that we get credible leaders across
credible leaders.
Yes. Now, what we want to do, what we are doing is to.
No. The question I'm going to before you make your point is, he said the low point of the NSAS movement was that there was no leadership.
Yes.
And that was the low point. Why would you say this? A lot of people said because the leadership of NSAS was faceless, so nobody could be lobbied, nobody could be held responsible, nobody. Some will say the government couldn't infiltrate young Nigeria because there was no leadership.
That is the problem. Yeah, you will get to a certain level. We gathered the momentum, so it got to a level where we should have dialogue with the government. That's the honest truth. there is no movement or whatever demand you're asking for that at some point you don't come to the table, right? I think that's where we had a problem. I think that's where we made the mistake. As young people, we should have at some point negotiated. We should have at some point um, um, uh, we should have at some point asked the government to okay, these are our points, how can we get these things done? I think, in my opinion, I think that's what led to this. So this time around, we are coming with a similar thing, but it is not about agitating or going to the streets, right? This is about pressuring, negotiating, discussing with political parties to ensure that we get good candidates from the primaries down to the general election. It is possible. We've done that. We've been giving leadership of PDP, APC, APGA, right? And what is our demand? Our demand is that you get us your best candidate, right? So that's basically what we're doing.
Okay, so what we saw at EXAS necessitated, the coming together of young Nigerians to form this particular movement, Take That Nigeria movement. That is what you're saying.
Yes, it's at the backdrop of the NSAS, right? And we feel that this time around we should have something similar, but with specifics, right? Because if you watch what happened during NSAS, at some point some people were saying Buhari must go and stuff like that. There were a lot of people came with their frustration, and the whole thing messed the whole thing up, in my opinion, right? So we feel that this time around, let us stick to what Nigeria needs to move forward at this point is to have a leader that, first of all, is not just competent, but someone that truly has the interest of this country at heart. And you cannot have the interest of Nigeria at heart without considering young people, without bringing them to the table, without listening to them. Because we constitute about 60% of the Nigerian population. So you must cater for these people. Employment, you need to give jobs to young people, right? You need to send people to school and all of that, because these are the future leaders of your country. So that is basically what we are interested in.
Okay, now back to my question. When you saw that statement by an aspirant of a political party telling Nigerian youth, of which you are of that particular demography I am not 100 yet. And when I'm 100, then if he at 70 something can actually say the youth, won't lie. I'm saying it, won't lie. I'm saying it, I'm still crying. You're making. So when you heard that particular statement that he made, saying Nigerian youth, we know you have the aspiration, but keep it in the freezer. Let me do my term first, then you guys will come. What did you make out of that statement?
Well, it's quite unfortunate that we have leaders that we've lost spirit of patriotism in Nigeria, in my opinion. That's why you have people, leaders that you expect to know better, making such kind of statements. Okay, let's look at just a few days ago, France completed, they had an election. Emmanuel Macron won the election again. He became the president at what age? Go to Finland. How old is their president? Go to Canada. How old is their president? Now, the honest truth is that because of the kind of settings, the kind of our polity, that's why you have people like that. People like that should not even in the first place want to come and lead this country, Because when you look at them,
why will you say so? People like that. So by that, you're saying his age. Is that what you're referring to?
No, I'm not necessarily his age. I'm actually looking at their records, what they were able to do in their the time they had opportunities to lead Nigeria.
But when Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the man who made that particular statement, was the governor of Lagos State, a lot of people saw developmental changes. Yes, every administration has its own vices, but some was actually, that is why he's been revered and respected in the southwestern part of the country.
So I came back from Lagos a week ago. I'm not sure it's up to a week. Is Lagos like Dubai now? That's the question. So when you say
he's not the governor of the state.
No. When you say when he was the governor,
not even in power.
I understand, and I agree with you. But he was the governor some few years ago, right? So what happened to the state? And these people are the same people that they go to Dubai, they go to UK, they go to Canada, and they come back. So what has he been able to do to the Lagos state you're talking about? So let's not go there. I don't want to. But when you look at those kind of people and then you look at their track record in office, I don't think it's something to write home about, because it's not enough to say you generated money. What did you do with those monies? Because I don't see any part of Lagos that looks anything close to where Lagos should be. When you look at the funds, the amount of monies Lagos has generated over time. So let's stick to the point. I'm not going to.
I know, again, I had something to say about that. Let me allow
In terms of youth participation, first and foremost, I would say please get your PVC.
you.
Every Nigerian youth, get your PVC, because if we claim we have 60% of this population, we should have that significant power to say, fine, this is the person we want, and pool our resources together and get that candidate to absolve. Because it's not enough for us to complain and whine and whine and whine and beat all our faith to God. But the slightest thing we can do, we don't do them. Get your PVC, the continuous voters registration is ongoing. Locate the nearest INEC office and what.
Okay, we'll get to that, where the point where you exalt Nigerian, because I'm seeing you're entering that pastoral ministry right now. But wait for that, before we get to that point.
Before we go on, on the NSAS stuff he was talking about, there was a 5-point agenda, right? What happened? It's there. Nothing has happened. Police reform, so on and so forth. We can go online and get to those reports. The points that he was giving to the government for us to have at least the same country. Nothing.
So, okay, what you're saying, all this boils down to leadership. That's what you're saying. So now, quickly, let me move on to this particular one. The essence of TakeBackNaija, TakeBackNaija, the movement you are currently pushing forward is building a better society. And this is by doing what you can to ensure that basically leadership is what you're looking at. And by building a better society, we all know that political systems and structures are critical in achieving this. They're very, very critical. And these systems, a lot of people, especially young Nigerians, have seen this system and structure as anti-youth. I'll take, for example, aside you campaigning, asking Nigerians to go get their PVC, get registered, and ensure they vote on election day, we also have young Nigerians who have indicated interest to hold certain elected positions in the country. And talking about political system and structure, we've seen some political parties actually peg their tickets at some will say ridiculous amounts, so young Nigerians cannot even have access to it. We've seen the APC peg their presidential ticket at 10 million, and the governor gubernatorial 100 million, I beg your pardon, 100 million, and then the governorship ticket at 50 million. And then we saw the PDP do almost the same thing, pegging their presidential ticket at 40 million, and then other tickets as well. So now Nigerians have said, as much as we are pushing and clamoring for young people's participation, aside the process of voting, getting in that position, being a policymaker in the country, how will a young Nigerian afford this ticket? A lot of people are saying the structure is anti-young people, is anti-youth. What do you think about it? What do you see about it?
Okay, yeah. So let me first of all say that, to be fair to the political parties, I think some of them also slashed their prices for the young people, right? Like the APC, I think they give 50% off for people less than 25 years of age. And then we have parties like ADC that they are
Not the ticket, we are two.
the nomination
The
forms.
nomination form and not
Yes.
for the expression of interest form.
Yes.
And the nomination form still stands at 30,000 naira, 30 million
30 million
naira
naira.
for young Nigerians.
Okay.
So, an average Nigerian, do you have, let me even ask you, as your colleague, as you're seated here,
Do I have
with all your activism and all of that, can you boast of getting 30 million naira within the stipulated time in running this election if you choose to start?
Now, that is what Take Back Nigeria movement wants to do, and that is what we are doing. Now, when we identify credible candidates, we also crowdfund for them. We also raise money for them, right? We put our money where our mouth is, right? We've had candidates we've endorsed so far, and we are working for them with our money, right? We're going around the country telling people, raising youth awareness, bringing our money to where our mouth is. So I think the thing is, if young persons come together, let me give you a typical example. If we say 6 million Nigerian youths, for example, bring 1,000 naira each, donate 1,000 naira each for a particular candidate, we're going to get 6 billion. That's enough to fund most of the campaign activities. Do you understand? So that is where we are looking at. We know that if we come together, see, politicians, they are only afraid of your numbers, organization. When you organize, right, and come together to a common goal, these people will be afraid. That's what happened during NSAS. I know a lot of some senior elderly people I know, and my involvement in NSAS actually ended our relationship because they felt, oh, you guys want to remove the president and all of that, blah, 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 you know. They were literally afraid. They thought the young president of Nigeria want to unseat the president. And we could have done that if we had wanted to. And that's the honest truth. Because we occupied everywhere. We came together as one and we are making a demand. So what I'm trying to say is that if young persons of Nigeria come together and decide that we can raise, you know, during NSAS, I can tell you, I don't know how much the exact amount that was raised, but I know that personally from my own purse, at least I contributed at least 200,000 of my own personal money during NSAS protest, you know, buying food for people, transporting people around and stuff like that. So you find out that if the Nigerian young people decide that this is what we want to do, we can actually do it. But how do we come together as one and make that decision? That is why we are going around to tell young people to come together so we'll be able to
And
start.
I'm talking about the position of the young people in changing the scheme of things in the country. We all know that looking at some of the prices during electionary season, even during campaign season, young people have always been used as puppets by these politicians in quotes.
Yeah.
Aside you clamoring and pushing for young people to get involved in this, have you done anything in sensitizing Nigerians and young Nigerians not to use? Because when we talk about power box snatching and all of that, we will not see a 70-something-year-old man come and snatch power boxes. For the videos you've seen all through the years, the people you see are from the ranges of 20-something to 50-something or 40-something, or as the case may be.
Yeah.
These are people within the age range of young people, young Nigerians like yourself. So now looking at that, some will say the young Nigerians are the enemies of our own self. The young Nigerians are our own enemies. We are our own problem. Just the way they're talking about Southeasterners now, and they're trying to change that narrative. So how do young Nigerians change this narrative that we are our own problem? And we're seeing the young politicians, that I financially induce young Nigerians against silent campaigns that young Nigerians are pushing. And during the EndSARS protest, which you use as a reference, those who actually scuttled the process, we saw them. Who were they?
Still
Were they old people? They were young Nigerians. So now what do we do? Young Nigerians, we say the young Nigerians are old problem. How do we solve that?
Good. First of all, we need to sensitize people in terms of election education, the importance of joining the process positively and not you being used as a tool to scuttle a good process. Because at the end of the day, we will pay with our lives, we will pay with whatever it is that we owe. Are we enjoying Nigeria today? It's better off. No. So
Asking that question is relative. It's relative. Asking if you are enjoying Nigeria is relative. There are people enjoying Nigeria, I can tell you.
It's not.
Let's relative.
It's
So
not.
you are saying you're asking, are you enjoying? You asked me a question. Are you enjoying Nigeria?
No,
Do you
are
know?
not.
Do you know? You cannot say I am not.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why.
Wait. Oh, is it okay? You're not in my pocket.
No.
You're not.
I agree with you, but I want to make a point.
Are you,
right?
Are you in my pocket?
Let me explain to you. Let me explain to you.
Okay,
Let me make this point, right? So if you live in a country when you have 100 million people living in poverty, believe me, you can make all excuses, but you're not enjoying, because let me tell you why. You're going out there, you are afraid of anybody attacking you, some of these jobless people, right? You are always, people are always demanding for you, brother, please, can I get 5K, can I get 10K? You are not enjoying. That is the truth, right? That is the difference between Nigeria and some of these countries. Not at least we know there are rich Nigerians. There are young people that are rich. You might have maybe 100 million in your account, but are you even enjoying that money? Security, are you secured? Can you move from Abuja to Lokoja today? And you're free. Like in your mind, you're safe. Even the airlines, the other day airports in our Kaduna was overrun by terrorists. You use the train, and then I make use of Abuja Kaduna train. I can imagine what people like the fear. Anytime I'm passing that route, I'm always afraid. So you say you're enjoying. How are you enjoying in Nigeria? You cannot say you're enjoying. I don't believe anybody in this country is enjoying. Even the political elite, because they move around with thugs, they move around with people protecting them. Right? I was in ICC yesterday, where some of the governors from the south, some of the presidential aspirants came. There was a meeting, and then you see these people, the way they guide them, right? Because they don't know who is going to kill you. In a same country, even their presidents are free to relate with the people, right? They're approachable. They are free to relate with people. But here, what we have is that we have a situation where everybody is a suspect. It's a suspect. So nobody is enjoying in this country. I can argue this for the whole day.
Okay, so you can actually finish it. You brought that conversation. I need to know what it was driving at.
So at the end of the day, I plead with every young Nigerian. We need to take advantage of this time. Because I tell everyone who gets listening, add 8 years to your present age. How old will you be after 8 years? That is how critical it is. So as a young man who thinks that probably you're going to get like a 20 in 2023, by 20, in the next 8 years, you'll be 28. And at 28, you must have finished university. Supposedly, you should at least from African context, you should have a wife and maybe 2 kids, yes, for those who want to get married. For those so economically, how can you sustain that in the current situation we're in right now in Nigeria? So 2023 is very critical. So every young Nigerian listening to this program right now this morning, please, first thing, say no to what election. That is key.
Basically, that was the leading question to what I asked you, because young people, we are the ones being used as advisors, puppets, as tools by these politicians in courts. And now let me ask you this before we get into the last question I have for you. As young people, we've seen a clamor by several, geopolitical zones asking that, the ticket should be ceded to a particular region. As young Nigerians, and looking at what you've said so far, Take Back Nigeria is looking for credible leadership, leaders that young Nigerians can hold accountable. Exactly. Now, looking at the clamor for regional presidential ticket in courts, do you think this will actually because that is what it is. Because a lot of people are pushing for a particular region to emerge as. So now, looking at that, what do you think about this? And if truly, the clamor by this region for a presidential aspirant to emerge from that particular region, do you think we'll get credible leaders from whatever region it is?
Whatever region it is, we are looking for a Nigerian president, not a regional president, because we don't want to get tribalistic here, we don't want to get regional here. Nigeria is for what 6 geopolitical zones. No zone is more Nigerian than the other Nigerian than the other zones. So for those who are clamoring, right? We are not here to talk about that, but for those who are clamoring for their talk, we will just say this: let us have the best mind, the best person, the best man, the best woman who will do the job for the Nigerian interest. Because this is Nigerian interest and not. He's not going to be a southeastern president. He's not going to be a northeastern president. He's going to be a Nigerian president. So let's get that clear. So for equity, for justice, for fairness, for whatever it is, for whatever adjective, whoever wants to use to describe it, it is good for the togetherness of Nigeria. And it's also going to stop a lot of clamor for secession or whatever it is that is currently ongoing in that region. Because at the end of the day, when you bring people in, they feel a sense of belonging. But when
So in other words, you're saying the presidential ticket should be given to someone from that region so as to stop the clamor of secession. Is that what you're saying?
It could lead to that actually, because when you bring them in, they will know that they're important. You only give them.
But now that means you are stealing the ticket to a particular region.
It's not stealing, because when you say stealing,
Okay, you're giving. So you're giving the ticket to a particular region.
Win.
Not mind the region.
Let the best
Or
man
there's
win.
a
But
region.
if they have the best man from every region, they should come out and they should vote. But at the end of the day, when people say, please, we need to feel belong in this country, you have to listen to them, because it will go a long way in solving a lot of social political problems, social economic problems that has arisen as a result of what we make. Okay, that is just it.
Okay, now let me get back to you, Zokoli, before we, open the phone lines and get reaction of Nigerians on this particular issue. I know that Take Back Nigeria, this is the Abuja chapter. Take Back Nigeria is all across, the 36 states of the country, as well as the capital as well, still pushing for this particular agenda. So now, looking at what you're pushing for, how have you been able to sensitize nominal Nigerians? What have you done? What activities have you actually put in place to ensure that this gets straight to the grassroots? Because several times, even during my introductory statements during the opening stage of the show, I actually said we've seen so many bills, just like the not too young to run bill, which has been signed into law by the president himself, that young Nigerians can actually contest in election in any elected position. But this is the law. But I actually said this, that the law can only be activated if the youth get involved in community development at the grassroots level. So now at grassroots level, what are you doing as a movement, Take Back Nigeria, to ensure that the young people take back, the country that belongs to them?
Thank you so much for that question. I think it's central to everything we are doing here. So, I Take Back Nigeria movement. We currently have states and local government coordinators, right? And we started holding offline meetings because I told my team it's not enough to organize online. It is important we start moving offline, so that these people begin to see the arrangements, the structures we have on ground. Now, some states already have ward level coordinators, right? We move down to wards. Yes. And what we intend to do is before the presidential elections or before 2023 general elections, we have at least 10 million Nigerian youths that are ready to make this decision as a block, right? That is the idea. That's why we floated our platform, our website. What we intend to do is to get young persons. We're moving outside, we're going to churches, we are talking to people, right? Churches. We're going to, like I told you, we engage party leadership, right? We've been to offices of party, making demands on this is what we want. Our interest is not about, we are not interested, just like you asked him, the president of the region or whatever. See, what is central to us is that Nigeria at this point in 2023, because if people understand where we are as a nation, then you will know that we can't miss 2023. It will be suicidal. I can tell you that a lot of people, including myself, will finally leave Nigeria if at 2023 we don't get it right. That's the truth. And here is the thing. We have 100 million people that don't.
So leaving Nigeria 2023, we don't get it right. Is it after the election? After a particular candidate doesn't emerge?
No.
Or after you leave the 2023 and see the outcome of things?
No. For me, hold on. For me, I think even before the elections, you already know people that can effect these changes. We know the kind of country we want, and we know people that can fix this country, right? So if by 2023 these people don't get opportunity, because right now there's clamor, right, for these candidates to emerge, and when they don't emerge, in my opinion, right, I would finally join the bandwagon of Nigeria cannot be fixed. Because there are certain people that believe that Nigeria cannot be fixed, right? I don't really like engaging people like that because I still believe, I am hopeful that Nigeria can be fixed, and that is why we are doing what we are doing, because we love this country. We believe in Nigeria.
Okay, now, before we do that, now to the critical question. When we see so many groups like this emerge, a lot of people say they actually emerge as a result of interest, whether you believe it or not.
Exactly.
Take Back Nigeria was actually created because of particular interest. And now, this question is a controversial one. I remember the last person who asked this question, it was hauled with insult. But I'll still ask you the question.
Okay.
And now, who is bankrolling Take Back Nigeria?
Okay, thank you for this question. It's very good idea. It's necessary. Yeah. So who is bankrolling?
Most of these groups come up with agenda.
I agree.
They have
I
a
agree.
political undertone.
I agree.
And people pushing it.
No, there's a political undertone.
Yes.
And
with candidates.
No, there's a political undertone. What we are doing is political. That's the honest truth. No, if you use candidate undertone, we've endorsed candidates from Abuja, from ABC, from APC, and from PDP. So we are not candidates. There's no candidates here. This is a Nigerian project. Young people that truly want their country to change, right? So when you say who is bankrolling us, of course someone will bankrolling us. And who are these people? Young people, Nigerian people like us.
So young Nigerians.
Young Nigerians across board. We raise funds. Yes, we raise funds across board. There are Nigerians that are living amongst ourselves. There are Nigerians that are living abroad. Yeah, that truly believes in what we're doing. And these people send monies across. So these are the people that bank. Do we have any politician giving us money? No, we don't. And we are not interested. We only work for any candidate we feel can effect a change.
So now let me get to the last question.
Yeah.
Which candidates do you feel among the overall candidates we've seen in all political parties, from the PDP, the APC, the YDP, the MPC, so many political parties that I cannot even mention right now. So now looking at it, does the Take Back Nigeria have candidates that they've seen, or candidates that they've seen so far, and say this is the Nigerian that can effect the change based on the philosophy that brought about Take Back Nigeria in the first place?
Okay, yeah, thank you. We have candidates.
Okay.
Candidates we are looking at, right? For presidential seat, we've identified His Excellency Mr. P2B as the most credible currently, and we are doing everything to push him. That's the honest truth, right? Now, do we have options? Yes, we have options. We have the likes of Casey Lamoralo on the table. We have the likes of Yemi Oshibajo on the table, right? These are
Yemi Oshibajo has been highly criticized by a lot of Nigerians.
No, it's enough. I agree. It's enough for people to associate it with what is happening in his government.
Moralo has also received his own fair share of criticism.
There's no Nigerian politician. There's no Nigerian politician that will not be criticized. It's normal, right? But that is not, as young people that understand, for me, I'm a student of politics. So I understand there are some certain things some young persons will not understand about these things that I understand, right? I know that Oshibajo, the vice presidential office in Nigeria, is a ceremonial office. Everybody knows that. That man, for crying out loud, does not have power to fight. That is the truth. So for me, in my opinion, it's a little bit unfair, right, to judge him solely by his boss's performance in office. So like I said, we have, for presidential office, we have these three candidates I've mentioned, right? We are looking at P2B is the most preferred. Number two is Kingsley Moralo, and then Yemi Oshibajo. I feel and we believe in our own fold that if we can have any of these three persons, they will be able to. We are not saying they can fix Nigeria, really, right? But what we are saying is that when you have sincere leaders, they can at least kickstart the process of fixing this country, and they can inspire people into being patriotic. Because the honest truth is that nobody is going to be patriotic in a country you don't feel that these people, the leaders, have your interest at heart, right? Because look at what we have today. We have a situation whereby we have leaders that don't listen to us. We have leaders that make policies against the Nigerian youth. The issue of Twitter ban, the issue of crypto ban and stuff like that. These are government policies that affect us directly. Yes, they affect me.
Anyway, that's not the response to answer to. That I just had to put it. Don't answer to that. That's my topic.
It's fine. So like I said, we have candidates. But aside the presidential seat, we also have candidates, governors we are looking at, aspirants we are looking at here, right? Across board.
So
we are looking at
across all
political
and not
parties.
limited to one political.
And I can tell you, we are not partisan. And I can tell you this. Let me shock you. See, Nigerian youth, we are ready to raise any amount necessary to pull these people, to push these people. We are going to use our funds to work for them. And believe me, personally, if any of these candidates get to office and offers me personally an appointment, I'm going to turn it down because I have a business. And I don't believe that political offices can make the kind of money I want in this life. I want to compete with Aliko Dangote.
So you think you can make that for politics?
No, I can't.
Especially understanding.
No, I can't. There is no politician in Nigeria that's anywhere close to Aliko Dangote when it comes to riches, money. Yes, that's the truth. Except you stole the money. Except you stole the money. Okay. Right? I'm looking at making money legitimately. Okay, right? Because we are young people and we want to do things differently. So if I'm going to get into politics, is it the 800,000 that the president is paid or the 1.2 million? Is that what is going to feed me? No. There are so many Nigerian young people that make more than that, a lot more than that.
Anyway, for those joining the conversation, this is still Bright Republic, and we'll be talking to gentlemen from Take Back Nigeria, Abuja chapter. The voice you heard last was the voice of Israel Blessing, the co-convener of Take Back Nigeria, as well as we have Ikenna Onyaga, the coordinator of Take Back Nigeria, Abuja chapter. And also we have the media strategist for the group, talking about EAD High Pressure still here as well. It's time for us to open the phone line. I can see the phone line buzzing, able to before we give out the numbers, but let's give out the numbers right now. Or for those who do not have it, 081 30 111 724. 081 30 111 724. Please, you have just 60 seconds and stick to your time. Good morning. Yes, good morning, Olajide. 60 seconds and you get timed out. Thank you. Olajide, your time is counting. You have 40 more seconds.
There's no way they can respond like this and succeed. If they don't put Nigeria out of the drain that the guy is finding his access now, these people have to be in a political party. So that somebody to take place. What is their goal? To ensure that their candidate they are looking for is mad as their anti-Pagera. What of if that candidate is mad as Pagera? What will be their goal? They cannot just get afloat and think they will take it out. Be in a political party. That is the way out of the Nigeria.
Okay, thank you so much, Olajide. Olajide is saying for you to push this agenda and ensure you get the result, you have to be a part of the political party. So before we let's just take the calls and then allow you to respond. Okay, some of them. Hello, good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, good morning.
Yeah, senior, how are you doing now?
I'm doing great. Welcome to the show. 60 seconds, please.
Yeah, please, I don't know how can I be part of this platform? Take that.
Okay, I believe they'll respond to you just before they leave the studio.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I think that's the young Nigerian wanted to be part of the TakeBack movement. 081 30 111 724. We have less than 7 minutes to take all of your calls before we officially sign out for the morning. 081 30 111 724. Remember, you can also drop a message on our WhatsApp portal. The WhatsApp number is 070-3372-8313. Good morning. Yes, good morning. Emmanuel, you're welcome. Go ahead.
Yes, I want to be a part of the Take-Back. How can I do?
Okay, for those who want to be a part of Take-Back, I believe that before the end of the program, the coordinators right here will let you know, give you some information as regards that. But for now, let's talk about the discussion for today, especially young people are taking over the ends of affair in 2023. Morning to you.
Good morning, senior.
Yes, you,
Photographer.
Pastor Toga, you're welcome.
Yes. On the zoning, I will also join my own thought with that of partners, middle bed for room, and the affair defense. The zoning should be zoned to the east. The PDP should zone their presidential candidate to the east. For the young people in studio, I want to advise them to use a political platform to achieve their aims. Because at the end of the day, if all these candidates they have in mind is not a match, and the front pillar of their political party, various political parties, what will they do? How will they put these people are individuals that have love for one another, that were the ones that donated this money for them to push him to presidential race. So these guys are doing a very good work. Please, there must not be anything like political party for them to achieve their aims. So someone should not tell them to go and be in any party because even the party are they registered, even the party can they tell us how many people are their members in this country. If PDP should come out and tell us the number of their members in their party are they this. You see, even the party are not well structured. That is the problem. Because if you tell someone to move in a political party, you should tell us the number of people you have in your party. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, okay, for that particular one. I guess we're already answering the question on behalf of the Take Back Naija right here. But still, it's 24 minutes past 9 o'clock, and let's see if we take one more call before we officially say our byes. That's 1080 Good morning to you. Hello, good morning. Yes, good morning.
Yeah, I salute you guys over here.
Thank you.
Me? Yeah, I don't see any way for them to join any political party. Because immediately they make a mistake to join any political party, they will hijack them and they'll tell them, we walk by the rules, we walk by that, we walk by those, we walk. They will bring a lot of things for them to bring them down so that they can't do anything to get the Nigerian youth. And please, it is independent, just if a people is creating figure a way to bring independent candidates, I think that will help the Nigerian youth. They don't want to explain. All these people that are calling for you to join political party, they are politicians, they are inside the system. They want to bring you down. Please, don't make any mistake of getting into politics. Independent, we are okay like that. Thank you, Robert.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for saying there's no need joining any political party. 25 minutes past 9. Okay. I think it's time for me to open the floor. So the gentleman from Take Back Naija will actually speak to address your question. Let me start with you. But we cannot let me do this. Final for today. Good morning. Yes, good morning. Welcome. Okay, Jerry, go ahead.
What I want to say is that
this issue of joining political party or not, I think it is better if you do independent because if they are independent, there's no way these people will try to do something that was not true with them. And then you will have a better chance to put in what you want into action in all the political parties. Because anybody else is there is no contest for any election. They be looking at you. So they will take a project from you. Project, what
Okay, thank you so much. You can let's take a final word. You can address some of the questions before we wrap up.
So basically, I think we have answered the question before we came to the show, but Take Back Nigeria is a non-partisan, driven by the love of Nigeria. We want to have people who genuinely love Nigeria to highlight the defense of this country. And we cannot achieve that if we are political, if we join the political party. So at the end of the day, we want to see a Nigeria that works for everybody, irrespective of where you are, what political party you belong, your faith, your creed, whatever. So I think that is it. And I would enjoin everyone who is listening to us this morning, please. 2023 is very critical for us. We cannot afford to miss this opportunity. Let us take the bull by the horn. Nigerian youths, our fathers, our mothers, our sisters and our brothers, let's seriously, your life depends on it. Thank you very much.
Okay, now to you, Zoko, quickly before we go.
Okay, thank you. So let me quickly address the issue of joining a political party. So it's not we are not considering it. Honestly, we are not because we believe that there are good Nigerians in all political parties in Nigeria. Yeah? That's the honest truth. Anybody can tell you anything they want to say. We've spotted some very smart and brilliant candidates in APC. We've spotted people in PDP that can affect changes. We know people in ABC that can do things. We know people in Africa that can fix Nigeria. We know people in other parties, SDP, name it. Now, what we are doing, really, I want to clearly tell people so that we understand what we're doing. What we're doing is building a credible voter candidate database of young people, you know, across Nigeria. 10 million of Nigerian youth coming out to tell any political party, give us this candidate. You can't afford to lose 10 million votes. I mean, just think about it. If you're chairman of the party and then 10 million Nigerian youth came and they're showing you with evidence. Currently, we have over 10,000 registered members, right, on our database. So you can imagine when we keep pushing this for the next 1 year, so to say, right? You will find out that we can actually achieve our aim. And when we do that, we can use that number to negotiate with
The political parties.
with the political parties here and tell them that this is what we want. And we believe that they will listen to us. Now, quickly on how to join us, right? So we have a website, www.takebacknaija.org.ng, right? If you visit that, you will see our registration portal. You can visit and you can register and be part of what we're doing. That's actually why we are here. We want people to join us because we believe in the numbers. We know that when we get these numbers, these people will listen to us. We'll be able to.
And we thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming and talking about again on here about the coordinator of TakeBackNaija Abuja chapter as well as the co-convener, Ezio Colin Blessing, and also the leader strategist for Abuja chapter, you are precious. And before I go quickly, let me take this particular message here. This one is from Veteran from Master Drive. This one is talking about Jonathan's candidacy. He said, quickly, I am veteran from Master Drive. I hope much I do about Jonathan joining APC and rumor of him being Buhari's choice for 2023 is April Fool because it sounds deceitful and greedy to me. How would Jonathan be so naive to not read the handwriting on the wall that's so obvious to the blind and audible to the deaf that is being lured into a suicide mission that will definitely consume him and ruin his little reputation? If he allowed himself to be hoodwinked into this embarrassing scam and scheme aimed at embarrassing him, his generation will live to regret it. Anyway, politicians have no morals, ethics, and are completely shameless. Wow. For politicians, the next election is always top on the scale of preference. The supporters cannot see why he was referred to as clueless and inept when he was president. Okay. Anyway, that is your message, Petri from Abuja. But whatever it is, I tell you, and we will always tell you, go out there, vote your choice, notwithstanding the political party. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Ijiro Nwata, thank you for always coming through on the show. And also to the gentleman and also to Ngapa Elegushi, thank you for always coming. Okay, Black Republic makes a return tomorrow. I know you have something to say, but we're really out of time. We need to go right now. Thank you. See you tomorrow. My name is Sunday.